finance part of it. And the second part of it, they are little scared about handling the women part of it, because there are so many situations which has come, that they are getting, there is a fear in them that if they start a women's team, if something goes wrong, then the entire club name will go. So the things are like that. But slowly, yes, I have broken the barrier now, and we have around 150 girl children, like under the age of under 12, where we are developing only the girls team. We have been going to the schools also, and we have some venues like where we are inviting, where we are conducting a special session for the women team. And so my part over there is basically to develop the young players through the soccer schools, and I'm able to achieve it because I'm sure, like looking at the number of girls participating and the parents involving, I'm sure, like in another couple of years, like definitely Chennai FC will have a good setup of team.
Definitely, ma'am. We would also hope for the same. So, ma'am, moving on from your journey as a footballer to the present journey of several Indian players at this moment, we are seeing that Aditi Chauhan and Bala Devi are already playing for foreign teams. Now, I have two questions for you in that regard. One, do you think playing for foreign teams is a good exposure for Indian players? And two, should you think more and more Indian players should go abroad to ply their trade?
Yes, see, Aditi and Bala Devi have been inspiration for our young footballers, and even for the parents also. Now parents are thinking, okay, they are now investing the money in sending the children abroad to getting trained, and to get into the sport. And because of this, I'm sure, like there are many educated girls who will be getting into football, because always in the football field, when you see, as you can say, not only in women, it is also for the men also. You always find there is a more number of dropouts, school dropouts and college dropouts playing football, because they wanted to dedicate the entire time in playing football. But the scenario has changed now. Now they know that study and football can can go hand in hand. And looking at Aditi Chavan and Bemem Devi, Bala, it is like one should follow the pathway which they have done to reach that level, how hard they have worked. So if they start following that, I think it is easy for any player to come up to that level.
Yes, ma'am. We also hope that more and more players take in their footsteps and Indian women's football becomes a force to reckon with. So, ma'am, now talking about Indian women's football, it cannot be that we won't talk about the Under-17 Women's World Cup that was supposed to be held in India this year. As we all know, it has been postponed. So, I would like to ask you two questions in this regard. Firstly, had it happened now, would it have been a great impetus for women's football in India? And secondly, now that it is postponed, do you feel it will somehow break the momentum that was generated?
See, conducting the friendlies in India has helped the India in growing up the rankings. See, earlier days, when you see, India's rank has been going up by playing the matches, but now India is fastly going up in playing the number of friendlies and number of international tournaments which they are participating. And actually this under-17 is a real booster, because many of the communities and many of the socialism and people are now aware that such a great event is going to happen in India, and they are coming forward and encouraging the children to go and play the sport. So which is a great impact on us. And happening, see, in 1981 the same thing happened in it was an AFC qualifiers round that we had played in India. It was done in Calicut. So, there we were the silver medal winner. So, I'm sure, like, here when it has been happening in our own place, I'm sure the girls will do really very well, and the team is going to do extraordinary performance, and there is going to be a change of game over here. And talking about the thing about after being the postponement and all that, and I had actually spoken about this to Mr. Abhishek Yadav during the SAI meeting, SAI webinar which was held. And I asked him the same question, and he said they would, get into FIFA's rules and what they are going to say about the registration if they have to take in new players or if they have can continue with the old players. And actually, I think they should continue with the old players because they are all set. And as a child, the eagerness and the quench for the game should not be lost. It should be motivated. So I think they should maintain the same team.
Thank you so much, ma'am. And I hope when the FIFA meets, they would keep the age group same. Like they should not make it if they keep it under 17 and if they hold it the next year. Of course, we know the under 17 players from this year won't be able to participate in it. So we hope that FIFA complies with us in that regard. So, ma'am, speaking about players, in India, now we have seen that Northeast is the absolute hotbed of Indian players when it comes to women's football. It is, of course, there is a similar trend in men's football, but when it comes to women's football, it is the absolute dominator. You have extensively coached Northeastern players. You have coached in the Northeast. So you have seen them very closely. Why do you think that they are so successful in that regard?
Okay, talking about the Northeast, yes, they were dominating once upon a time, we can say, and now the competition has been increasing day by day. So when you see the junior and sub-junior level, the scenario is completely changed. I think there is a gap of grassroots development in their own state. So now when you see the under 14 or under 16 nationals which has been taking place, there are new states which are coming up and holding the position. And so now we cannot say that it is completely Northeast, and maybe yes, the sports in Northeast is much more higher comparing to the other states, because for them you just step out of the house, there is a ground over there and they play football over here. But whereas people living down these sides, there are so many of social activities happening, so they are indulged in that. So there is a lot of difference between the state to state.
Thank you, ma'am, for your insight on that. We would like to remind our audience to please keep their microphones switched off at all times so that there is no hindrance in hearing our guest. Along with that, I would like to remind our audience to continue to send their questions in the Google Meet chat box or in our WhatsApp groups, and Madam will be answering them personally in the end of today's webinar. And I also take this opportunity to welcome all the new participants that are joining this webinar. Welcome to Indian Football Business, a growing industry, brought to you by Ideas Unlimited Sports Management Group. Ideas Unlimited Sports Management Group, or IUSM, is a leading India-based ISO 9001-2015 sports management company. Since its inception in 2007, we have been working and contributing immensely for the development of the sports scenario within the country. We have come up with this webinar program, a first of its kind initiative in Indian football, because of the ongoing period of lockdown that we are stranded in. Also, we are doing the soft launching of the Indian Football Business Awards now, and the award ceremony will take place at Kolkata in December 2020. Thank you so much, everyone. Madam, moving on, if we speak about the Indian Women's League, the Indian Women's League runs for less than a month. Don't you think the Premier National League should have a longer duration? Any suggestions that you could give to increase the league duration and thereby increasing its competitiveness?
Yes, actually, we all wish that Indian Women's Football League could go for a longer period of time, and for increasing the number of clubs. As you are aware, the league was started in 2016 and it's been growing up slowly. It has been building up. The graph is always showing upward. There is no down towards it in terms of, the infrastructure, in terms of the players' quality, in terms of the team quality, and, the organization. So everywhere there is an increase in the graph. And talking about that was, earlier there used to be, the first time it had a Super 6 round, where ISL and IWL teams could directly take part in it. And, the others have to play a zonal round and then they have to compete and come into the picture. It was going on for it, which was again a motivating factor because, many of them who were able to showcase their talent even on the Super 6 round. Okay, and later on, they made it as a zonal round where each and every team has to play in the zonal and then come up. So by doing that in the zonal round, which takes place, home and away matches are being conducted. So which is a great investment for each and every club owner. Now, in when you talk about the women's football, it is like, there is no there are certain clubs who directly invest the money on it, but there are certain clubs who has a surplus amount which goes to the women's football. It's like having a main company, and then it is support, you just have a sister company where the main company supports the sister company. So in women's football also, this is the same scenario which has been happening. And slowly, yes, the investors are coming in, and there is a lot of development in IWL. And see, when the zonal itself has a home round and the home and away matches, which is taking place at least for 3 to 4 months, which is a quite a long period. And again, most of the girls, unlike the boys, like most of the girls are employed, or they are working in a smaller they are into studying, or some sort of activity which does not let them to stay for a longer period of time. And I think whatever the AFF has taken the time period to conduct the IWL is good enough. But only thing is, it could be much better if they could organize the matches on not at 1 o'clock and 12 o'clock and 2 o'clock, where it is very taxing for us. They could have organized it in a better way by conducting the matches in during the morning or in the evening session, and by providing a better ground and better lights and all that. So that could be one good point where IWL could be a better platform, and it could really keep going up. And I think the coming years they would definitely do it, because we have all given our feedbacks to them. And moreover,
Definitely, ma'am.
the first year and earlier years, the club owners have to invest the money for their accommodation, for the food and everything. But now, the later of late, like it is like the AFF is giving us accommodation and food and other things. So in this way, the bearing from the investor side has come a lesser.
Definitely, ma'am. We hope the board is more cooperative as far as women's football is concerned, and you get the best infrastructure that is possible. So, ma'am, now moving from the Indian Women's Football League to the Indian national team. So, we all know the Indian national team is quite higher ranked than their male counterparts. I think their last ranking in FIFA was 51 or something. Do you think, ma'am, the Indian women's national football team is getting its due credit?
See, when you talk about the football on old view of point, yes, they are doing like there was an under 17 World Cup which happened for the boys, and now there is an under 17 World Cup which is happening for the girls. There are some national tournaments, international friendly matches which are happened for the boys, and it's been happening simultaneously for the girls also. So I think in near future, our recognition will be also there.
Definitely, ma'am. Ma'am, as I was speaking to you about the Women's Football League in India, I would like to ask you in that regard, ma'am, what do you think about the pay structures for the players in women's football? Do you think it is justified, or do you think there is changes needed as far as that is concerned?
The packages concern, as I told you, there are many clubs, who are investing a lot of money in getting the best players, and they wanted to, really support the women footballers. In our earlier days, when you see, for us, 100 rupees a day was a big money for us. But now I think they are up to 1.5 lakh. They are paying the players, and which is good enough for a 20 days to 1 month tournament, which is good enough. And I think in that prospect, I think the players are benefited out of it. And in the days to come, there will be much more added to their packages.
Definitely, ma'am. We would hope for the same. So, as I move forward, I would like to remind our audience to kindly keep sending in your questions to Kalpana, ma'am. She will be answering them at the end of our session. So please keep sending your questions in the Google Meet chat box or in our WhatsApp groups. Another thing I would like to remind all of you, at all points during the webinar, do not go ahead and mute other spectators, because when you try to do that, sometimes you are you end up muting the moderator or the speaker, which is a very bad thing. So please don't do that. We have technical people here. They will be muting people who are not muted themselves. So please do not worry about that. I see there are a lot other people joining. The numbers are continuously increasing as far as our viewers are concerned. I would welcome them all to Indian football business, a growing industry brought to you by Ideas Unlimited Sports Management Group. Ideas Unlimited Sports Management Group, or IUSM as we call it, is a leading India-based ISO 9001-2015 sports management company. Since its inception in 2007, it has worked extensively towards the development of Indian football and the entire sporting scenario within the country. Due to this countrywide lockdown that we have, we are going ahead with this week-long webinar program in which we are doing the soft launching of the Indian Football Business Awards, and the award ceremony will be held in Kolkata in the month of December 2020. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. Now, ma'am, moving on from the general questions to something more technical. Now, regularly women footballers around the country give interviews, and a lot of them have said the same thing about you as a coach, and that is that Kalpana ma'am tries to instill a passing philosophy among the players. Why do you do that? Do you think that is the style of football that is best suited to Indian players? If you could please explain your ideas, ma'am.
See, when we talk about our Indian footballers, the stamina and the endurance is little bit down comparing to the other players. Okay, you play a match for 45 minutes, a half, and 90 minutes in a 90 minutes duration. Okay, so the players are here during the high intensity matches. And as I told you, like, because of the climatic condition and the ground condition, it is very difficult for the players to keep, running and running and running. So it is better that they keep the ball, keep a ball position and they play. So it is easier for them to move as a group, and they get a time to come back to the positions also. So that is the reason why I insist on playing a ball position game. And I think by making a pass, the game also looks neat, and there is a lot of opportunity, goal scoring opportunities are also there.
Definitely, ma'am. Ma'am, in this regard, if you could please allow a follow-up. We all know about Pep Guardiola's philosophy, or the Johan Cruyff philosophy, as they talk about it in the Europe. That is to pass the ball and keep moving. Now, is your philosophy only limited to that, or do you have something specifically to suit Indian players, like something different from them?
See, when we talk about our, as I told you, yes, I'm a diehard fan of Pep. And I watch Manchester City game also more closely, and think that talking about the philosophy of women's football over here, I think it game to game situation differs, because certain game, yes, if there is a situation where they can carry the ball individually and then they could give a pass and finish. It is actually a football is a team game, as you know, end of the day. And here we get a limited time to practice with the players, because during the IWL we get the number of players, we don't even have practice time also. As I told you that it burns the pocket of the other the main management. So we have a limited number of time to practice with these girls. So practicing the set of play and all, it's going to be a real difficult. So in that way, it can be a simplified football where each and every player could understand. So we work on the strength and weakness of the players which is given to us.
Thank you so much. Thank you so.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your insights on that, ma'am. Ma'am, now if we speak about the IWL in more detail, the IWL did not allow foreigners initially, and at present they allow only 2 foreigners per 18-man squads. So do you think this decision is right, and if so, why?
See, earlier when you say about that is in 2017, the Nepal striker Sabita had come in. Then after that, it was Samba from Bhutan, who has been conquering. And so these are the players from who have been coming in and have been outcasting the putting up the talent over there. And you would have seen the Nigerian player also. She had come and played last year in 2017 with Gokulam FC, and it was a real. They are real motivators for our Indian players also, because that one player Samba could make a lot of difference in the team. And we have players who have played for the Indian side and all that, but still they are not able to compete with her. So there is something lacking in us, where where the coaches are observing it and they are working on it. So it is a real inspiring for us to have at least two players in the team. But yes, at a time there is only one player who is allowed to play. And so I think the coming years they will allow more players, so that because of these players the viewership is also being increased. We have our neighboring countries who are also looking, and they are also following IWL because of these players. When you open the Facebook, it is only Nepal people who are fighting over there. Bangladesh people come online. Earlier it used to be the close circle. Now we are spreading out and opening out the venue. And by having even there are many scouts who are looking at our players. So I'm sure that by having these foreign players, it's definitely creating a lot of impact in the IWL, not only in the IWL, in women's football across the state.
Definitely, ma'am. We would also hope that more and more of the best players come to India to ply their trade, and the Indian Women's League becomes a huge success. So, ma'am, now I would ask you something that has caught my eyebrow, and I have not seen you talk on that much. Tell us something about Senorita Nongolf, if I am pronouncing the name correctly. How does a coach do what you did in the 2017 semi-final for the Rising Students Club against Pune City? For those of our viewers who don't know the exact scenario, in 2017 in the Indian Women's League, ma'am was the coach of the Rising Stars Club, and they were trailing 1-0 to the Pune City Women's Club in the semi-final of the Indian Women's League. In the second half, ma'am introduced Senorita Nongolf, an Indian player from the Northeast, and that changed the entire game. She did not score a goal, but the Rising Stars went on to win the game. What is the interesting thing here? Senorita Nongolf was only 12 years old then. Ma'am, if you could please continue.
Yeah, actually, Senorita was, when she was 8 years old, when I was, there was a Pune City Women's Day program which was held, where we had called many of the teams from Pune to participate. And Senorita had come representing a club from there. And so that is the time when we picked her up. And so she has always been training with the senior team. And then, she has a good analytical skills. And so she exactly could connect. Her finishing skills are too good. And so, she used to connect the ball, and she was a winner for us. She was my best striker. Okay, now playing in an IWL team where there is going to be a huge competition at that level of stage, there were, many criticism also being made. But, it is again the viewpoint and how a coach utilizes the player. You have something in your hand and how you utilize it. Now there is a moral fear for the girl also, because she's again going to face, when we played against the Manipur team, Eastern. So, we had Bem Bem that time, and we had Bala all playing over there. So this girl was, sent. I used to feed her only for 5 minutes. Then the timing kept increasing, and, and she started having a lot of confidence on her. And then, yes, of course, she was the only youngest player who also scored one goal against Aiswal FC. And she made a record of it. In fact, she started having a lot of motivation, and she was selected for the under 14 India camp, and then she got an ACL injury. So she's now recovery period, and she will be back in action very soon. And I always like to introduce and create some young players. Like I would also quote Manisha from Setu FC. And when Manisha was there, she was only 16 years old when she had come to Setu FC. And again, I didn't feed her first time. We used to feed her only on the half time, after the half time. So we allow her to observe the game and then get into the game, so they feel more confidence. And, now she is an Indian player. And then we also had Soumya, who is a goalkeeper for the Indian team also. And she was also very young. She was under 18 years old. And she was the first timer, and playing the IWL itself was a first timer because she was always a third goalkeeper. And since that time they had made it as a passport, as a mandatory, many of the players could not take part because of this problem. So that's how she got into the team. And Rumpa was the first goalkeeper from Bengal. She was my first keeper, but then due to certain issues, like she was not able to continue. So we had the Saumya coming in over there, and with a lot of confidence I believed in her, and that's why she was able to make it as a successful. And yes, now I have few more smaller players who are coming in, and I have to mention Purva, who's again like Senorita. She is again 13 years old, and very soon you will be seeing her. And there is another player from Rajasthan. Her name is Naina, who has impressed me a lot. So I am waiting just to feed her. Maybe if the management agrees with whichever IWL I'm going to join in, I can confidently say that these players, yes, they will definitely. There are many senoritas in India who can be utilized for as a strikers.
Definitely, ma'am. We would also hope that you keep giving India a lot of young players who go on to represent the national team and bringing laurels for us. Madam, I would like to come to a different question now. This is more related. Excuse me, madam. I would just request a moment from you. I would request all our guests to kindly keep their microphones switched off. If your microphones is switched on in the middle of the session, it is really a problem to me and to madam because we cannot hear our voices perfectly. Thank you so much. So, ma'am, as I was saying, this is more about you being a coach. Now, we all know that you have been a coach at all the top Indian teams, all the top Indian clubs. You have been a coach in most of them at some point of time. Now, if you could give us a few differences that you might have noticed in these years among them. And secondly, ma'am, I have this question to you, like more something that we observe in all sorts of football, not only in women's football, but also men's football. And that is continuity. So being a top coach that you are, why do you keep shifting from one club to another rather than staying at one club for a long period of time? If you could please answer both those questions, ma'am.
That's a good question because here I do develop the teams. As I already mentioned to you, I am into development of women's football. So for the first year when I went into the first, it all started with the police team, which was Tamil Nadu Police in Tamil Nadu, where they didn't have a team. We didn't even have the players. We hardly had 4 or 5 players who are football players. Rest we converted into the other thing. So here I made the initiative of going and knocking the door, sitting over there, forming a team. And yes, now they are recruiting the players over there in Tamil Nadu Police team. But now, since I have moved out to Pune, so I lost in touch with them, and they are now doing much better by appointing and giving appointment for the women footballers to join the police team. And I think now in India we are having around 8 to 9 police teams because of this. So and then I went to Pune city again. I knocked the doors and I made them to open. Bharat FC again, I knocked the doors and made it to open. And even talking about Setu FC also had come in, and they had approached me for setting up the team. Yes, I did a good job of setting up the team. But the IWL, how it happens was, it is all on a seasonal contract, and very few of them, they are already having a job which is a 12 months job and 365 days a job. But for us, it is very difficult because for us to survive, like me, I'm only dependent on football. So for me,
Madam, if you could please switch on your microphone. Madam, your microphone has been switched off. If you could please switch on your microphone.
yeah,
Yeah.
you can hear me. Should
Thank you,
I
ma'am.
repeat it?
Ma'am, I can hear you. Someone had muted your microphone. I don't know that this problem we did not face in the last 2 sessions, but in this session, continuously people are going on muting the moderator and also the speaker. I would request everyone to kindly keep their microphones muted at all times. You can go ahead, madam.
Yes. So should I repeat what I had said?
Yeah, ma'am, it would be really good because none of us would have been able to hear you.
Okay. So what I was talking about is, I was telling that, IWL, we work on contract basis. It is whether a 3 months contract or 6 months contract. So, when there is a IWL tournament which is coming up, that's how we get our employment and we work over there. And earlier to say, like, I have been money into the development stages, like, the police team which was formed in Tamil Nadu. I had gone over there personally. I had worked for a honorary job. It was a honorary job that I did, but for the development of the game I had worked. And today I'm really very happy looking at, there are they are now recruiting the footballers over there, and there are many number of, like, recently they have appointed around 30 football players have been appointed. So I'm really very happy the way it is going. And talking about Pune City also, the initial part of it, it was like, they had the idea of opening it up. But there was, as I told you, for opening up any women's football team, there is always a hesitation. So you need to be patient enough to go and convince them and make them, really make them to open it and give them an inspiration, and, give them a trust that, yes, we can do it much better. So that is what I have been doing so long. Even with Setu FC, when they came up with the idea of, putting up the IWL team, they had approached me and I helped them to build up the team right from the zonal level to the Super 6 round. And yes, as I told you, like, due to the monetary vices and, the term vices, I couldn't continue because these are all a short time assignments that we get. So that is the reason why we keep shifting. And moreover, the philosophy also, some people would not like your philosophy. And it's again, when I look back in all the clubs that I work now, I've ensured, like, they top in the one of the four, and they have been quite doing pretty well. And I'm happy the way that the clubs have been growing, because, laying the foundation is a risk part, and I have done it. So I'm happy with that.
Thank you so much, ma'am. We are all accustomed to the kind of work that you do, and we hope that you will be continuing serving Indian women's football in the years to come. So I would like to thank all the audiences that have sent in their questions. We have received a lot of questions, and madam will be answering a select few of them in the audience interaction session at the end of this webinar. I would take this opportunity to welcome all our new guests to Indian football business, a growing industry, brought to you by Ideas Unlimited Sports Management Group. Ideas Unlimited Sports Management Group, or IUSM, is a leading India-based ISO 9001-2015 sports management company. Since its inception, we have been working and contributing extensively to the development of the sports scenario within this country. We have tried to come up with this week-long webinar program as the entire country is under the lockdown. We are doing the soft launching of the Indian Football Business Awards through this webinar seminar, and also the award ceremony for the IFBA will be held officially in the month of December 2020 at Kolkata. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. Ma'am, moving on, in the past, there were accusations of favoritism in the national team, which led to several players, notably Bala Devi, Kamala Devi, boycotting the national team, costing India's further progression in the Olympic qualifiers. Do you feel IFF should have handled the situation in a more professional way?
See, this is again an in-house problem. Okay, so when as a team, why we call relate our family with the football? Because we manage it as a family, right? We call it as a family. So there is an indifference of opinion. I think the players should first talk to the coaches, or coaches are having an indifference of opinion with the players. The coaches should have spoken to the players about it. If the players don't open up to the coaches, then who's going to take the thing? The entire team is suffering because of this. So I think there should be more connectivity between the players and the coach, and the players, at least by now, they should be start talking to the coaches directly. And in case if they are not able to find the right decision, then they can approach the seniors, in which the women's football will also grow up, and there won't be any favoritism as they think, because the coach considers everybody as a equal player. I don't think so that any of the coach will say she is my favorite, and as it is, football is a team game, it is not an individual sport. So so some players may come and speak, so the coach may speak to them, so that doesn't make it as a favoritism. And I think as we as women coaches, none of us have favoritism for any of the players. We treat everybody in the same equal level. And talking about AFF, and AFF also has not commented about it, so we really don't know like what has been happening also. And there have been a couple of times which we have come to read it about the papers and all that, but ultimately now Bala Devi, without India team support, she wouldn't have gone up to that level. So AFF is always backing up its players and its coaches, and I think they are doing a good job in developing women's football, and they will continue to do their best.
Definitely, ma'am. Thank you so much for those clarifications. Now, ma'am, compared to the concentration of the male coaches, uh, compared to the concentration of the male coaches in the AIFF coaches education program, the number of female coaches in the country is pretty less. Why do you think that happens?
When you talk about see male coaches and female coaches, yes, when there is any there was in 2007, there was one specialized coach which happened for only for women, C license which happened only for women, where there were 24 women participants with a women instructor. So I think if there are many such courses which has been happening for women, I think many women will come and take part. When you see the D license courses also, I'm really very happy the numbers have been increasing day by day. And yes, it is when you come to the education system, we have to be equally in terms of not only theoretical wise, but even in terms of the practical wise, we have to be equal with the men coaches. They treat us over there during the course, they don't see you as a female, they see you as a male only. And they treat only as a coach, there is no term as a male coach or a female coach. So it becomes difficult for us also. But yes, it is giving us a good. I did my course and D license instructor along with I think Kutala with under Mr. Robban. Okay, so it was a real learning lesson for us over there, because Mr. Robban had a different philosophy which was new for us, and we did come to know how difficult it is, to be as a D license instructor. But yes, we did. He had a great regards for us. He encouraged us, and we came out with the flying colors. And yes, I did my A license also under Mr. Robban, and that is he is the person who changed my thinking. He said, if you really wanted to be in football, you need to follow your passion. If you don't want, just join in any of the I League team, or or work under some good national coach where you will get experience. Then come and do your A license, he said. I took this word seriously, but then I did tell him that, we women coaches, we don't get assignment with our national team itself, nor with our state team. Where is the question of we getting an assignment with an I-League team? But yes, when Pune FC called me up, I took it up, and yes, I was able to complete my licenses over there successfully. And more, as he rightly said, I gained knowledge. So, you have to be patient enough. Money does not matter. It matters like, when your passion comes in front, what you want to decide. So that time, you have to do some sacrifice to reach up to this level.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much for that. So with that, we have come to the end to our normal set of questions. But for all our audience, we will like to tell them that we have a bonus for you. This is really a surprise. Joining us any moment now is one of the jewels in the crown of the women's football in India, Kuntala Ghosh Dastidar madam. She will be joining us any moment now. And we will have a live session where I will be interacting with both Kuntala ma'am and Kalpana ma'am. and both of them will be speaking jointly on the development of women's football leadership in India. She should be joining any moment now. Hello, madam. Madam, your microphone is switched off. I can see you, but your microphone is switched off. If you could switch on your microphone. No, ma'am, your microphone is still switched off. Just click on the screen. You will find a mic symbol. Just click on that. Yeah, madam, you're audible. Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am, for joining us. I would like to tell our audience that, as I said before, she is one of the jewels in the crown of Indian football. She has been a former Indian team captain, Indian team coach in several instances. She has looked after several sides, including the Railways, and now she is a part of the East Bengal women's side, and also she is involved with the Sports Authority of India. Ma'am, it is an absolute pleasure to have you in our show. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for your time, ma'am.
Okay, good evening to everyone. Nice to meet with you all. It's a really great things that you are doing. So for women development, we can share a lot of things. If everybody listen of it, so everybody we can develop women football now.
Definitely, ma'am. That is the reason we are doing this program. You and Kalpana, ma'am, can both take my questions.
Indranil,
I think we have Soham with you. Yeah, Soham, go ahead.
So, with your permission, can I take over this session? With your permission?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So, hello, madam. Hello, Kultala ma'am. Hello, Kalpana ma'am. Soham here.
Yeah.
So,
Yes, Soham, how are you?
So I'll start off. I'll do an audience session with you guys. Like when I have the audience questions that have been flooded with in our chat box. But before I start with the audience questions, I have a question from my side. I'll start with Kalpana ma'am. Ma'am, what is your feeling about our Ideas Unlimited Sports group, and what is your feeling about Indian Football Business Awards, ma'am? Your thoughts and feeling on it?
Yes, as I told that that many of the people are coming forward to open up a women's forum and start up a residential academy in India. I think giving this type of opportunity for women's development is being done by IDEA company, which is an ISO company, and has been running very successfully its events. And I think you all are also opening up a personalized footballers pages also, and being supportive enough for all the footballers as well as the other aspiring people which is coming up. And IDEA has been doing a real great job. They have done a very good job with the Nerako FC, and right now I think you people have been tied up with the Nagpur FC also. And I think I'm really very happy to be associated with you all. And thank you for the opportunity given to us, for speaking about the women's development. Because in the whole of the webinar, when you see there is no chapter for women, so you people have been an inspiration and been supporting for us. So thank you, IDEA, the management and the staffs.
Kuntala ma'am, your opinion about Ideas Sports Management Group and Indian Football Business Awards?
I think whatever Kalpana said is the same opinion, because it's a great mileage for us. Because she said already that in only this webinar they are being women footballer. Before, I will tell you something. Kalpana was working hard to bring all women coaches together to how to develop women football. And now the IDEA Sports Management Group, you have come forward for our development and how we can go through. It's a really hats off to you people, doing a very good job, and it will be a great awareness of women football. It should reach to all the pupils. I think you are the pathway. You are doing this thing that where we can reach enter I will say the village to village. It's better for us, I think.
Okay. Ma'am, I'll start off with the audience questions. We have been flooded with a lot of questions in our inbox. I have only selected the select few questions which I'll start off with. There's a question from Pooja Oja. She says that the professional football career for women is very hard to sustain. What do you feel about it? If Kalpana ma'am could go ahead and answer this question.
See, it depends upon. I wouldn't say it is very. Yes, the starting stage. It is stages. We find it very difficult. But once you start getting into that mood, no, you will never feel like leaving that career out. See, my day started like when the football was shown to me. With I was purely a marketing and sales person, and football used to be my part, which was always there, and I used to take a lot of. Leave, and I used to shift jobs because of football, because I used to take part in the national, and when we go for the national it's like 15 days and 20 days. None of the company allows you to take leave. So suddenly, one of my boss, he said like, why are you doing this? You just follow your passion and go. No, why do you try to balance between? Then I realized like, in corporate world I have achieved where I have to be. Now it's a time for me to develop the football. So I took the risk of leaving the entire corporate world and then getting. Yes, money becomes a real big issue over there. Sometimes we have to balance for a betterment of what we like. So, in Mumbai, like, it was shown on marketing and coaching. So that's when I walked in just with a bag. I just walked in, stepped into Mumbai, and then later on they said, no coaching, you're good in marketing, you take care of the marketing. So, but my heart was always into the coaching part of it. This I'm talking about Dream Sports Field, which was the first company to open up the small five-a-side business that we took, and I was the initiated over there, and we also did the Coeva coaching also over there. And so it is always a risk, and when I walked into Bombay, I didn't have any support over there. I struggled, I fought, and I just came up. So once that willpower is there, I'm sure like you will be able to find your way out. So all the best to you.
I hope, Pooja, you have got your doubts and queries cleared. This question, I'll throw this question to Kuntala ma'am. Kuntala ma'am, there's one question that Bengal has only one representative in form of Sribhumi FC in the Indian Women's League. So, ma'am, where does Bengal stand in women football? What are your thoughts on it?
Actually, they stand this year only one team in IWL because we couldn't finish the league. Because it's a rules. I think Kalpana will say better because in rules, those will be the champion. They will represent for IWL. So in time we couldn't finish. So last year, who was the champion? We have sent those teams. Okay, this is the only reason. Only one team is there.
Okay, ma'am. The next question is from Samir Kapoor. Kalpana ma'am, you will be the best person to answer this. He says that roadmap to groom the under-17 squad members in future. What are the opportunities available for them other than Indian Women's League?
See, when you talk about under 17, they are the future of Indian football. They are the phases of Indian football. Okay, so many of them are in their colleges or in the schools where they are doing their 10th or 12th, and they have a lot of opportunities. Once they are in the schooling level, now they get the sponsorship, so they can play and they can study, and there is a lot of opportunities for them, like under 17 IWL is also going to be opened up, and in this way, at a very young age they will start earning money also, because as you know that IWL, you get payment, you have amateur players and you have professional players. So the professional player, when you fall into the category of professional players, you are going to be paid for it, and so at a very young age you also start earning. So there is a little the future for these kids are really very bright.
Okay, ma'am. Well, following up to your payment and question, this is a question from Shyam Manik Loth, sir. He says that do you think 1.5 lakh is sufficient per year for a player to earn their livelihood? If they don't indulge in any other work, what is their future?
I couldn't hear you. Sorry, can you please repeat it?
Sure, ma'am. Ma'am, this is a question from Shyam Manik Loth, sir, who is also a Sai instructor and a Sai coach. He says that, do you think 1.5 lakh is sufficient per year for a player to earn their livelihood? If they don't indulge in any other work, what is their future?
See, in these days, wherever you are, like, earning, there is a lot of commitments which has been in the thing. So you should learn how to survive with what you have.
Okay. Kuntala ma'am, this is a question from Shiva Shankar to you. He says that current grassroots scenario in women's football. What is your opinion about it?
Current grassroots, just according to AFF rules and all, we have already started the planning of grassroots. Already, we introduced Golden Baby League. It is most important because when we'll keep more attention in grassroots, lot of players we can get from the grassroots, and especially development of grassroots. In our days we used to play few girls. Now a lot of girls are playing, but if you can see that in village to village or city to city, few girls are playing football. Okay, in that time, this grassroots when introduced in the area, if four girls are playing, three boys are playing, one girls can involve over there. Automatically, from the grassroots we can develop more women football. Grassroots is very important without because this is the ABCD of football and this is art of football where they can enjoy their self. They can where we can uh, choose a good footballer. Grassroots for us it is undoubtedly very important uh, for us.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. The next question is for Kalpana, ma'am. It's from Sticky Sugo. He says, what are your views on women with a foreign passport but have Indian citizenship playing at state level? Unfortunately, this is a problem that I am facing myself.
I think even Tanvi Hans had the problem, she couldn't play for the state. I think that rule has been relaxed now, and with a proper presentation to AFF competition team, I think you'll find a solution for it.
Okay, ma'am. And the next question is from Namita Joshi. She says that, what would be your professional advice? I would request our viewers to please mute their microphones. Viewers, please mute their microphones. Thank you so much. So coming on to the question, it's from Namita Joshi. She says that, what would be your professional advice and guidelines to girls who are in their 20s and are aspiring to be coaches? What certifications and experience should they be going for? Any specific things that they should keep in mind? Hello?
Hello?
Should I repeat the question, ma'am?
Yeah, I think your voice is not very clear, Soham.
Okay, ma'am. Now, am I audible, ma'am?
Yes.
Ma'am, this is a question from Namita Joshi. This is a big question. I'm breaking the question into 3 parts. So she says that, what would be your professional advice and guidelines to girls who are in their 20s and aspiring to be coaches? What certifications and experience should they be going for?
So here she's talking about the player or she's talking about the coaching?
About coaching, ma'am, coaching. Who are aspiring to be coaches?
Yeah, you should not you should start it up very slowly. You should not keep jumping around. You should gain experience to survive and to sustain in the sport. Like, many of the players I see, like, they just don't even like many of the coaches I'm talking about. You do your C and immediately you wanted to complete your C. You do your D and immediately you want to complete your C, which is not going to happen. You need to sharpen your D skills and then get into your C skills, and then also start working, talking to the people who have completed the B license and higher licenses, and talk to them, take their advice, and keep working out in those terms, and then you will be able to achieve it. It's always the preparation that matters.
Okay. So this question is for Kuntala, ma'am. So Raja Rajan says, how to develop women's football team in rural areas? Any specific training and coaching methods?
It is very good question. Especially in rural area, you have to, girls are not playing. But nowadays, when our days, girls is not used to play, where I used to go in every day by day, every weekend, I used to go there. I, as a role model myself, stand over there and ask those people, bring your girls. Okay, so they used to collect the girls and with my assist coaches, I used to give coaching on them and day by day develop. That scenario completely has changed now. Now what happened? Now that World Cup, girls are playing more awareness of women's football. girls are coming a lot, it's coming. And presently in West Bengal scenarios, that more girls are playing in rural area. So, but for me, I think it is better, very important that so many license courses going on, and now because of coach education, good coaches are working over there. So automatically, what happened if we coach them properly? Because technique, if we develop their technical aspect, if they're good in technique, automatically they will develop a lot. It is our job to go work hard with them, because first of all, women are very shy, huh? Because of the barrier and all. But we have to break that, and we every. I will request all my players, those who have played whole days, we will all stand as a role model to them. When they will see, okay, Kuntala have come, Shubhra have come, Kalpana have come. So automatically, when they will be inspired themselves. They, okay, if they can play, why don't we? It is now our job. Work hard on them.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your contributions. Indian women's football wouldn't have reached the heights without your contribution. Thank you so much, ma'am. And we have come to the last of our questions. I think this would be directed to Kalpana, ma'am. How good is Indian women's football development in comparison to European women's football?
Indian women's football development comparing to European, we cannot compare it, because in European, once the child just steps out, there are, the infrastructure is so much, like, they start playing football from the crawling ages. But here, in India, any child, for that matter, whether it is female or male, the first thing that, that we give the child is football only. And we, admire the way they kick the ball and thing. But of late, because of the studies and other thing, because education plays a major part for us comparing to the sport part of it. So, that is the reason where we are lacking in the development stage. And when you talk about Maharashtra, there are a number of girls who plays over there the football. And, every week there is a competition which is being held, and you will find some of the most fabulous players over there. But those players, they are so much connected with their social circle that they don't want to come out and expose themselves to the national, or coming out of that groove and playing for a state team or so. So, there are many barriers when it is comparing to India. But yes, as of days keep going with all this IWL and under 17 World Cup and friendlies that are set, I'm sure, like, many girls will come forward to play the game. And each and every villages, nook and corner. When I went to Gujarat, I was so amazed to see the number of players over there who has a number of good qualities in them for a footballer. But again, they're because of the family background, and because even I was surprised. In Rajasthan, I have a coach was doing a very well, and he is also a joint secretary in one of the association. His daughter is a very good goalkeeper, but still, he hesitates to send her outside for the state. So, when we ourselves, don't open up, and when we don't send our own children over there, so how are we going to encourage the other people? So, as long as possible, as much as you can, as I think all of us together could develop the game much more better for the girls, give them the confidence that, your girls are safe.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you, Kalpana, ma'am. Thank you, Kuntala, ma'am, for your love.
Shoham, if I could please come in here.
1 minute, Indru. I'll take 1 minute. Thank you so much, ma'am. It was really a pleasure taking all the audience questions to you. And I will let now Indru to take over and close the session. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Shoham. Thank you so much. Thank you for helping us out with the audience interactions part. Now, since I have both Kalpana ma'am and Kuntala ma'am with us, I specifically have 2 or 3 questions that I would like them to answer. Kalpana ma'am, I know we had told you that the session would be over within 1 hour, but it's not every day that we get both of you at the same platform in the same time. So, is it okay with both of you if we could continue for a few more minutes?
Yeah, absolutely fine.
Thank you, madam. So, my first question is for Kuntala ma'am. Ma'am, in 1975, when Mrs. Arati Banerjee, wife of P.K. Banerjee, she started the first women's football team in Kolkata. And I believe Mr. Sushil Bhattacharya, who was a ex-East Bengal player and also ex-East Bengal coach, he was in charge of the team. And you were one of the main players in that team. And what inspired was that in that generation, in the late 70s, the early 80s, the late 80s, the influx of Bengali players in the Indian football team was huge. And India did very well, did have their golden phase in world football. Neither does India have their golden phase now in women's football, and nor do we see so many Bengali players in the national stage. Ma'am, if you could please shed some light in this matter.
Like you said, the 1975 football started, and it's under of Aarti Banerjee and Sushil Bhattacharya. Now I will really, with regard to Sushil Bhattacharya, we 150 girls have come on that day, and he picked up only 20 of us, and 20 of us. I don't know. We say that है ना वो bird की तरह है. So collected the very good choice players, good players who are really talented. Shukla Datta, Shanti Maulik, Jodie Silva, and long time we have that, as you said, that हम लोग बहुत दिन तक राज किया है, अच्छा खेला है, because talent was with us and we were more dedicated for women football. Two things I remember, that one, we had born quality. Second thing is that the plan they had, Mr. Zaidi, I remember Mr. Zaidi, Mrs. Aarti Banerjee. That time what happened, we used to play lot of game. Means exposure trip was so much. As soon as women football started in India, immediately we went to Thailand. We played against Thailand. We lost by out of 10 test matches, we lost 9 matches, and 1 match we won in Rabindra Sharma Stadium in Calcutta. But that was not the end. The Aarti Banerjee and Mr. Zaidi used to send a lot of for exposure trip. Then Sweden came to India. Then again we went to Thailand, and we beat them. We went in lot of margin. So why we beat? Why we have done? Because what we used to do, team combination is a very important part of winning. Because we used to stay all together, and he used to, for development of women football, he used to make a lot of exhibition match in different area, development of women football and exhibition match in different type throughout India, in every village. What happened? One thing, women football used to come up from there, and we used to build up our combination. We had Goa, Manipur, lot of India versus rest of India match used to play. So for that, we had a very good combination with us, and we used to win more all the matches. Because if you see the record, 1976 in Calicut first Asian Cup, this is all unrecognized. We won, we got the silver. Second, we got again silver in Hong Kong. Then we reached to the World Cup, where we secured 11th position, and nicely, it's really a great days because playing World Cup is not a matter of joke. We are still boys and girls. We all now waiting when we'll qualify for the World Cup. That time we qualified ourselves and we played. Why we played? Because I said that lot of games was running, and after nowadays, I will tell you, after it is handed over to AFF, few days it was lacking. It was not promoting. It was not promoting like what it was before it was going. But now they again picked it up. See, the result is coming up. I always thank to Sushil Bhattacharya, because of him, because of Mr. Zaidi, because of Mrs. Aarti Banerjee. We are still there, and still we are here. Why? Because we want women football to come up. We haven't lived, we haven't doing our homework not staying in our home. We are watching still for the football, where women football, we want to see more women football to come up.
Definitely, ma'am. Thank you so much for those enlightening words of yours. Now, if I could move to Kalpana, ma'am, for my next question. Ma'am, as I was speaking to you earlier, and you told me how extensively your thought process is, and how all the teams that want to develop their club sides come to you, and then you develop their club sides to a certain level. And you have done that with 4 or 5 top Indian football clubs now. So, you are the best person to ask this question. What can we expect from women's football in the next few years?
Result, because you see the number of competitions which is happening, and the number of players we have, many of the fresh legs which has been joining in the national team, and you can see the opportunities that has been created. And in fact, there I'm really very happy to see many of the clubs coming forward to open up a residential academy which is exclusively for girls. So the future is going to be bright for us, and I'm sure, like, AFF should also be planning for some academy which is going to be for girls. And I hope they do it, joining with the other residential academies that are coming up for women. There is a rebel from Bangalore who are working on it, and there are few other academies like Sai already has the setup of they have called in for the women players up to 21 years to have the residential academy. And already, when you talk about the south, we have SDAT, that is the Sports Development Authority of India, where we have around 450 girls who are under the training program and who are under the residential thing. And in fact, talking about Tamil Nadu, I think most of the players are coming from this SDAT, which they are nurturing it from the smaller age group. So that is the reason why the result is also there.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Now, if I could again shift back to Kuntala, ma'am. Ma'am, now in 2020 we are standing, and you're a top Indian. You were a top Indian footballer during your times. Everyone knows you. You are a top Indian football coach. You're one of the instructors for AFC. You're a AFC A license coach. You're the instructor for D license courses. So nowadays, you're a very household name as far as Indian football is concerned, not just in women's football, but most male coaches that do that D license, even they know you. But things were not so easy as far as you are concerned. We have extensively read your interviews about your early days, about your struggles as the women football during that time was not that facilitated, as your struggles as a woman, as you used to face problems when you used to play as women footballers in various rural parts of the country. Madam, in that regard, if you could tell us a little bit about your journey from your early days, how you coped up with that, and what will be your message for women footballers now?
Our journey was really very tough. My days, we will play football. Nobody thought of it, even my family. And with that barriers, even doctor said that you can't be a mother. But every day we have to prove ourselves. No, we'll do better. Result give us the mileage. Result stands us. Yes, women footballer can play. Only small story I will tell you. I have opportunity to say that when we started football, one day we went to play exhibition matches. We are going by bus, and suddenly a lot of people is running behind of us. We thought, what happened? Why they are running? And we just opened the glass, and they are talking. Okay, let's see the girls' leg. They are not going watch to our football. They wanted to see our leg. How was it? Because that time girls will play in shorts. They can't think of that. But we have proved ourselves that yes, we can play football, and from that journey I will tell you, we have never stopped. I will request all my upcoming footballers that be dedicated, be sincere. It is very much important. And without sincerity, without your devotion, you can't come up. You have to achieve your goal. You have to reach your goals, because this is my goal. Nobody will help you. You have to help yourself. Then only you can reach there. So, and besides a very good footballer, you should be very good human being. Today I stand because I think I am lovable to all. Because when I am doing my instructor job, first of all, I accept them as I told them, no fear. Whatever you have to come learn, learn. I have 24 into 7, I am with you because I always give them support. Our job to give support everyone. Whatever we know, we'll give them support. Then only everything will come up nicely.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. We hope you inspire a lot of Indian girls to do the same way that you did well for Indian football. Now, very quickly, I would go to the last two questions that I have for the day. Kalpana ma'am can take the first one, and Kuntala ma'am can take the last one. So, Kalpana ma'am, since you are involved in club administration, you've been at a lot of clubs. We've already talked about that. Now, as you all know, we are in the midst of a horrific pandemic. The COVID-19 has affected not only India but the entire world, and we are under the grips of it. How do you think, ma'am, this will affect the women's football in this country? Since now there will definitely be a budget issue for most teams, most clubs, and what are your plans or advices to cope with this situation?
Uh, yes, it's going to be difficult for the women's football because, as I said, only the surplus amount has been spent towards the game, and there are very few investors who are coming up and who wanted to make the women's football as a as one of the best one. And yes, it's going to be a difficult days, but I think where there is a will, there is always a way out. And I think we should be able to swim across through this pace.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for your advice. Now, our last question of the day for Kuntala, ma'am. Ma'am, you have been associated with Ideas Unlimited Sports Management Group, not just now, you've been associated in the past, and you are also familiar with the concept of Indian Football Business Awards. I would like to know what is your experience of working with Ideas Unlimited Sports Management Group, if you have any advice for them, and lastly, what do you think about the Indian Football Business Awards?
I think what I will say, because when I have come with this group, firstly I will thank to Sivastav. The way he is working, I love it. And my dream that working for the football, what he is doing at present, I am supporting for it. Really a good job he is doing. Huh? Let him do. We all will give more support and support. 24 into 7, he is working. Idea this sports limited. You are working all hard. Our support is already there. Obviously, round the clock we are there to support you. Really a good job. Really good job you are all doing.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am, for your kind words. With this, we have come to the end of our time today. I once again take this opportunity to thank both Kalpana ma'am and Kuntala ma'am, pioneers for Indian football during their times as the players and even now as they are the coaches. Thank you so much, ma'am, for joining us. I would like to let all our audiences know that we will be back again tomorrow from 5 p.m. The topic for tomorrow's discussion would be Indian football club management. And to be joining us to speak on that is Mr. Gift Rai Khan, AFC A license coach and head coach of Neroka Football Club. Till then, take care and stay safe, everyone. Goodbye. Thank you for joining us.